You can most likely think of a number of places that are incredible for swimming. Pools, the beach, or even entertainingly little inflatable pools. However, I'm going to inform you about 10 places where you should totally, under no means, ever, swim. Why? Because I'm trying to keep you safe. Also, they're overly weird and interesting. So, let's get started into 10 places you should never go swimming, even if you really wanted to. But before this you have to hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel. Number 10. Eagle's Nest Sinkhole. If you somehow managed to remain close to Eagle's Nest Sinkhole in Florida, you would presumably feel that it was only a lake. Notwithstanding, if you were to really dive down, you would see the shaft that leads to underwater passages and rooms greater than football fields. The deepest point is 310 feet below the surface. In 1999 it was really closed because of 10 deaths. It reopened in 2003 because for some reason individuals just cannot stop themselves from diving into underwater caves. The caves are home to this now notorious and genuinely spooky sign. Number 9. Jacob's Well. Jacob's Well beckons on a hot summer's day, its cool waters drawing divers and swimmers alike. Located not a long way from Wimberley, it's a popular place for those keen to freshen up and escape the baking Texan sun. But hidden risks lurk not far beneath the shimmering surface, making this a perilous spot to take a dip. The clear spring waters bubbling up from Cypress Creek is a captivating sight, with a mouth 12 feet in diameter that is hard to resist. But Jacob's Well is deep, with a sheer vertical drop that plunges some 30 feet down, before its passages and tunnels angle away, reaching an average depth believed to be around 120 feet. This makes it a popular place for curious cave divers, although the dangers should not be underestimated. Lives have been lost here and, even for those experienced in exploring such spots, to venture beneath the surface is a dangerous pursuit. Number 8. Bubbly Creek. Bubbly Creek is a region of the Chicago River that you'd be advised not to swim in. There are numerous reasons for this. Primary among them is the amount of disgusting runoff that will make its way into the river. Most part of the lake, for example, has been the subject of discarded meat, fecal matter, and other loathsome things. After some time, this stuff began to decay, leading, ostensibly, to the bubbles that exist in this lake. Also, the lake has become much toxic that fish and other creatures cannot live in it. If you're looking for a nice spot to swim, then, you might want to find yourself a nice beach somewhere else. The Chicago River is not the spot to be. Number 7. The Strid. The Strid in Yorkshire may simply be the most pleasant spot on this list, and the least threatening looking. It seems like it belongs on a postcard. But sadly, it has, in reality, claimed many lives. It reportedly has a 100% fatality rate for those individuals who are unlucky enough to fall in. The Strid features a brutal combination of fast, invisible currents, and underwater rocks for those currents to throw you at. Professor Carolyn Roberts, Professor of Environment at Gresham College, London, has expressed that it kills due to its geomorphology, the form of the channel, which is influenced by the nature of the rocks over which it tumbles, and that vortices in the flow will trap bodies under the water close to the bed or the sides, whilst the turbulence will render somebody unconscious very quickly. It's not a good place to play. Worst of all, since it looks so non-threatening, you can imagine somebody carelessly attempting to jump the river and slipping into the water. Such a mistake is fatal and easily made, given the slippery moss abundant around the river's bordering rocks. Number 6. Hoover Dam. Well, you certainly shouldn't swim in any dams. In any case, swimming at such spots as the Hoover Dam is really a jailable offense, so your swim could end in you getting arrested. Yet the more serious reason is that there are super strong currents because it isn't a normal body of water. It's a body of water that people made to make electricity. Does that sound like a protected spot to swim to you? Just a couple of months ago, a Welsh tourist named Aaron Hughes was arrested for swimming across the Hoover Dam. Authorities said he was the only individual they knew of that survived such a swim, as others have been sucked into intakes. But there are many other things you can get sucked into as well, like bell-mouth spillways. Number 5. Blue Lagoon. The Blue Lagoon in Buxton, Derbyshire, has a pH level of 11.3, which perhaps doesn't mean anything to you except you're a chemist. Well, the reality that bleach has a pH level of 12.6 should be a big warning sign. On top of being a body of water that's closer to being bleach than it is to being something that would come out of a tap, it has an idyllic blue color from caustic substances in the surrounding stones. Despite signs warning individuals of the danger, the people could not help themselves from taking a dip in its beautiful waters. It got so bad it had to be dyed black to try to discourage people from swimming in it. If you think about it, that's actually a good idea that a number of other places on this list could take a note from. Number 4. Reunion Island. Reunion Island, a French domain in the Indian Ocean famed for its surfing, has recently become the shark attack capital of the globe. Well, Reunion Island has 8.28 attacks per million people. The island has seen a record number of 39 attacks, 19 of which were fatal. While nobody exactly knows why the island has become such a hotspot for sharks, it has been estimated that it was because of the creation of a marine reef that attracted more fish, bringing about food for the sharks. Number 3. Gulf of Thailand. There are certain creatures that you will find in the sea that should induce you to tears. One of these creatures is the box jellyfish. This little creature, estimating at max around 8 inches in length, can give such a powerful sting that those it comes into contact with can die from shock. The main issue is that you get shocked while in the water. If you undergo severe paralysis, at that point, you will likely drown. The Gulf of Thailand, sadly, is loaded with these little jellyfishes. If you aim to swim in such waters, then, we suggest that you protect yourself with the proper clothing. Number 2. Hanakapiai Beach. Hawaiian seashores are lavished over, and for good reason. Their shores are the area of sandy seashores, coral reefs, and even horrible sunburns. But they're also sometimes home to amazing rip tides. On this beach especially, Hanakapiai Beach, there has been something like 80 deaths. This is something to consider if your plan is to avoid being pulled out of the ocean. Try not to be one of those individuals who attempt to overcome the waves. When they're crashing, the flows they hide beneath can be deadly. One individual, for example, had seen 2 kids pulled away out to the ocean. As they were slowly dragged down the shore, their dad had jumped in to save them. Luckily, the beachgoers were able to signal for help to nearby helicopters and the kids were rescued. Number 1. The Ganges River. On the off chance that you ever find yourself in India searching for a spot to swim, you should stay away from the Ganges River. The Ganges has become much polluted because of India's rapid industrialization, that more than 600 kilometers of it, equivalent to 372 miles, are ecological dead zones where life can't sustain itself. Attempt to not let that life be you. Industrial and human waste is streamed into the river at a disturbing rate. In spots, the river has over 70 times the protected limit of toxic chemicals and 3,000 times the safe amount of fecal coliform. The Ganges isn't simply home to a load of industrial pollution, but is also the final resting place for around 40,000 cremated bodies each year. So you'd basically be swimming in a type of sludge made partially out of the dead bodies. Generally, research confirms this causes a more noteworthy rate of cancer and gastrointestinal disease among individuals living by the river. Worst of all, since the river is religiously sacred, individuals disregard the warnings, believing that swimming in it cleanses them of past sins. So now you've been warned. Would you still take the risk to take a dip in any of these bodies of water? And that's our video for today. If you enjoyed watching the video, make sure to subscribe, like and share this video.